that's a solid part of the movie that went right over my head.
I want sister talk because these days sisters don't talk. Okay.
To another episode of Sister Talk, because you know these days sisters don't talk, okay? In today's episode, me and my sis B Octavia on YouTube. Make sure you follow her, click the link. If you ain't following her yet, make sure you do that. We're busting content out here. It's September 1st and we're not playing, okay? Yeah. Before we get into the video, I'm just going to tell you real quick that I do have a new product on EMPRESS Solutions. The website will be below, you know what I'm saying? But I just launched my EMPRESS Seed Growth Oil. And I would love for you guys to support my natural hair care brand, EMPRESS Solutions. This hair growth oil is made with grapeseed oil, hemp seed oil, and lavender. So make sure that you get your hair growth oil with me. The link to my website and to the growth oil will be below. If you shop with me, you will get a free detangling brush in your order, amongst other little goodies that I put inside the order. So make sure you click the link below to get you some at that site. Be on the lookout for my sis's new launch for Be The Brand. All the links will be below, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Clothing, apparel, hats, you name it. Make sure you stay tuned for that, okay? So now we're going to jump right into the video. I thought that this was a good idea for me and my sis to do a sister talk on, because we watched the movie together. And as we were watching the movie, we got some really good ideas, some things in the movie that let me just say what the movie is. Me and my sis was watching Boyz in the Hood, and basically in this video we're going to be going back and forth, sharing you guys our thoughts on some of the scenes in the movie. So if you're ready, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment below your thoughts on our topics, okay? I love the movie Boyz in the Hood. Just as a background, I do think that it is a very important movie to watch for young black kids, young black adults. If you're from the hood, it's very relatable. It shows a lot of things that are against the black community, within the black community, including the people. The setup of, it being a lot of liquor stores in the areas, the setup of drugs and crime and sex and poverty. It's just all about the hood struggle, and I really enjoyed the movie because of the relatability, right off the top, okay? So we just watched this movie and we got some things to say, okay? So in the midst of me talking, I'm gonna bring it back to B Octavia, and she gonna tell you how she feel. Let me know in the comments below if y'all like how we set this video up, because I think it's giving news channel vibes, and I think that's something that I want to do with our sister talk videos, whether it's on this channel or on her channel. So make sure you comment below and let us know how you like this style of video, because it's very different.
Yes, thank you for having me. Boyz in the Hood is definitely in my top 5 most important films. Me and Amber were watching Boyz in the Hood, and she started to pick up on the director's clues, and that is what started it all. The points that Amber made to me were mind-blowing, because when I watched it alone, I didn't see what she saw.
In this video specifically, I'm gonna need y'all to go back to Boyz in the Hood and see what I'm saying, you feel me? I'm just going to talk a little bit about a specific character in the movie, so the stars of the movie, because this was a huge success. This was a production of John Singleton, rest in peace, Morris Chestnut, Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Nia Long, Regina King, Angela Bassett, Lawrence Fishburne. Did I say all of them? I said basically all of them. And that's what really made the movie a great success. So what I do love about movies is that in movies it's like the director highlights props in the movie that give you clues about what's going to happen next, and you gotta peep it, you know what I'm saying? You gotta really pay attention and peep what's going to happen next, right? And it might be some things that you miss. You might get this gist in movies like Saw, like movies that have like a sequel. They will like highlight certain props in the movie or certain scenes. Like they will shoot shots on specific items or just to give you a vibe of what's going to happen or what's the motive behind something. You feel me? So in Boyz n the Hood, I feel like there were a lot of props that were highlighted in the movie to give you like more background about the character. Now specifically, I'm going to talk a little bit about Morris Chestnut. Now, some things that I noticed immediately about Morris Chestnut when he was young, or Ricky in the movie, is that I mean, it was some things that we all immediately noticed about the dynamic between him, Doughboy, which was Ice Cube, his brother, his older brother, and his mom. Of course, we got that vibe in the movie that that his mom favored Ricky over Doughboy. They both were brothers. They both lived in the same house. I think that Doughboy had more of a responsibility to protect Ricky. Wasn't as tough as him. Maybe it was a different father complex too. Like they both had different fathers, so they wasn't like exactly the same. And I think that maybe she favored Ricky over Doughboy because of the father difference in the scene. I think you saw like she cursed Doughboy out and was saying like you ain't nothing just like your father, and she never said nothing like that about Ricky. But moving on, just a couple of things that I was paying attention to were the fact that when Ricky was little, he had a football in his hand and he carried the football everywhere, and it was a football that his father gave to him, and his father had passed away. He really loved the football. He wanted to be a football player when he was younger. He had an attachment to it, and I think in the scene where the teenager, when he was, of course Ricky was younger, so when the teenager kind of took his ball and was playing with it, I associated the ball as like his dreams of leaving the neighborhood, of changing his lifestyle, of living a better life and living out his dreams. So I associated the football as his dreams. And as he got older, he kind of was dropping the ball or dropping his dreams. You feel me? So that's kind of how I was thinking about it. Seeing when Ricky got older, you seen him less and less and less with a football. And he actually did pick up other things. Ricky, as he got older, in the scene, you know, where they all kind of grew up, Ray, or Cuba Gooding Jr., he was working in a mall, and, you know, he was looking fly, and girls was feeling him or whatever. And Ricky, he had a baby. He had a really young son. That wasn't kind of shocking, but you could tell he was like a new daddy, because, like, he clearly he didn't know what he was doing. He couldn't like calm the baby down. He had the baby way too close to the grill in the scene where it was the cookout to celebrate Doughboy's release from jail. Like, thought that he could do both. He thought that he could help grill some meat and then have the baby at the same time, and that could throw a wrench in like his thinking as well. Is that he thought he could do both. Like, as he got older, he thought that he could have it all. He thought he could have his young son and he could do whatever he wanted to do. And, you know, when you have a baby very young like that, especially when you still in high school or you leaving high school, like, having a baby young is very serious, and you're going to have to put a lot of those dreams on hold if you have a son that's young or whatever the case may be. So I don't think he was there yet, or he realized it yet, but he was trying to do too many things at the same time. I was like, if I see him eating something else, like he constantly walking around with food, like the light bulb like popped on, and I was like, wait a minute. He is walking around with food, and it's constant. So I noticed that he constantly was walking around with milk. He was constantly walking around with potato chips, and he was constantly walking around with like these chocolate ding-dongs or Twinkies or whatever the case may be. So I was like, he's an athlete. And as he got older, even though he didn't have the football, he wanted football as a career still in high school. He didn't like exercise a lot. That's something I noticed too. He wasn't like playing football like he used to, because football used to be something he would do as a kid for fun. But I think that as he saw that he was getting older and he had, like, everybody expected him to do that, I think that he saw that it wasn't fun anymore. He wasn't really being active. Like, you constantly saw him sitting down, and if you're an athlete, that's going to slow you down, like, period. Like, milk is healthy, but you're not supposed to drink like cartons and cartons of milk. Milk does what to the body? It makes you sleepy. People drink milk when they about to go to sleep. People drink milk and they eat cookies with it. Like think about it. People use milk to make like hot chocolate. Something that's added to sweets. It's something that will slow you down. It's something that will make you tired. Not only is he messing up his body for his future career, you know, but he's also like messing up his life, because how is he going to survive? How's he supposed to save his own life at the end of the day? If his stomach is clogged up with snacks and sweets and stuff. So, and he constantly had milk. He was interested in Dre's father's line of work. He had a carton of milk he was down in all of the scenes he had milk, especially the scene where he ended up dying. He had milk. He was doing a scratch off. He wasn't paying attention. Like, as it was getting closer to his death, he just wasn't focused. He wasn't focused when he was taking the SATs. He wasn't, the only thing that piqued his interest was when he was on the couch, which plus the snacks is a recipe for disaster. But when he was on the couch and he saw the commercial about the Army, that's when, you know, I guess he was like, I want to do that. But, you know, that wasn't the smartest. That wouldn't have been like a smart choice either for, you know, specifically at that time for a black man to go in the Army. It was a setup for death, if you ask me. But anyway, I'm going to flip it to B. Octavia and let y'all know what's popping with her. Take it away, B. Octavia.
Once she started pointing out the clues, I was ready to find some clues of my own, which I did. Now let's talk about Ricky. And specifically, I want to talk about Ricky making a decision on how his life would be after high school. 11th grade to 12th grade is when you really are supposed to start thinking about what career you want to go into, what college, if you want to go to college, or what field you want to go into. A lot of us have been and still are at that point of being indecisive, on not being able to really see the future for yourself, so you don't know what you want to do right now. But what we can't do is take the easy way out, especially if it's not something that we really want to do. What I saw from Ricky was that he wanted to go into college for football, but deep down he was getting a feeling that that's something that he didn't really see longevity in, or for whatever reason Ricky started to think of other ways or other career paths that he could take, or other easy ways out. Number one, Ricky brought up going into the Army. He had a conversation with Trey, and he just randomly brought up the Army. So in my eyes, it made me feel like he was thinking of that as a option aside from football. Number two, Ricky was constantly scratching lottery tickets. And number three, Ricky also questioned Trey Styles' daddy about Mr. Styles having his own business. Speaking on Ricky bringing up going into the Army as a possibility, it has always been an option our elders brought up for us to do throughout time. And my overall thought is that these career moves are perceived as easy when they are nowhere near easy. In the Army, some people can't even make it past basic training, and that's no shade or nothing like that. You know, some people bones ain't like people's, and they thick and strong and stuff like that, so things happen. Another thought that I got about him bringing up the Army was him wanting to make his mother proud, his country proud, a lot of people proud, because he didn't choose college. Number two, with the lottery tickets. Constantly scratching off lottery tickets is a ritual in the black community. Y'all can't lie and say that y'all mothers and fathers or y'all uncles or y'all aunties or whoever ain't scratching some lottery tickets. Some people win big, a lot of people don't. But if you were ever in the position of Ricky, winning big money would solve a lot of his problems, a lot of our problems. But we talking about Ricky, a lot of Ricky's problems. He could pay for college if he wanted to. He could move his peoples out from this toxic neighborhood. He could have his own business. And he definitely wouldn't have to go into the army. Back to you, Amber.
The scene in which he did die, the fact that the enemy car was red, you know, red is a symbol of, you know, of danger, of, you know, of to stop. When they did run, they split up. Black people ain't supposed to split up. They split up and went in opposite directions. Okay, so they split up, right? So Ricky went this way, Cuba Gooding went this way. Why I keep saying that? Ricky went this way, Dre went this way. So to me, it just made it seem like paths, you know, like going the wrong path, going the right path. I don't think that they should have split up because they didn't know where the car was. And in fact, it could have been that Dre could have got killed, but he was on the right path. He was going the right way. He was trying to do the right thing. And Ricky, he didn't know what he wanted to do. I think that if he would have paid more attention, then he probably would have just turned around and followed Dre. But he ended up walking closer to the car, which left him going the wrong way, going the wrong path, and then having to really try to pull himself out of it. And it was nearly impossible. Like I said, you know, it was a shotgun involved as well, so it was no way that he could run away. But at the same time, I do feel like his diet really did affect his death, and that's something that, you know, a lot of black people, especially back in the day, wasn't really paying attention to. A lot of things against the black community, and it's not just like gang banging and liquor stores and selling crack and prostitution and poverty. It's not even just that. It's what we eat. What we eat can horribly affect our future, and that's something that I saw within Ricky's character traits and what was in the scenes. That's something that I kind of had broke down. I literally saw that and was like, I never paid attention to how much he was eating snacks all the time and what that means. That's a solid part of the movie that went right over my head, but it didn't go over my head this time. So I was glad that I could dissect that. I'm going to bring it right back to be Octavia, and she going to tell y'all her thoughts.
And number 3, the last part that I like to speak on is him briefly talking to Mr. Styles about having a business. To me, that scene was very eye-opening when Trey and Ricky walked in and sat down in Mr. Styles' office. And I'll tell you why. I feel like Ricky could have asked Mr. Styles more. He could have went into depth about what he wanted to know specifically about him running his own business. But I think that it was more eye-opening that Mr. Styles didn't speak more on it. That brief encounter made it so that I seen the dynamic between the youngsters and the elders. Mr. Styles' response was very dismissive, but at the same time, I did see a pattern with Ricky where he was talking to the college recruiter, and it looked like he wanted to say more. It looked like he was really trying to figure out questions to ask and things like that to gain more knowledge. And it was the same with brief conversation with Mr. Styles. What we should know as the youth, if we do have questions, we should ask those questions, as long as it's in a respectful way towards our elders, and that's how we initiate it. That's all that matters. We'll never get nowhere if we don't really ask questions, if we don't really be direct, if we don't really say what we scared to say. Tell me what I'm up against. Tell me the truth, you know? Street knowledge is fundamental, just like school knowledge. You have to know it to survive. You have to.
Thank you, B. Octavia, for your words. You right on the money. You know what I'm saying? Wanted to come back and thank you guys for watching. We will see you in the next Sister Talk. Let's get the sisters to talk.
Thank you so much, Amber, for having me. Thank y'all over here on this channel. Shout out to y'all. Run her up. Her next goal is 500 subscribers, so make sure that you do me that favor and subscribe.
That's what Sister Talk is all about. Because these days, sisters don't talk, okay? And we got to get it popping, okay? So meet us in the comments. Let us know how you feel about this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.